So, you've heard Danes don't do small talk, but is that really true? Stick around, because the answer might completely change how you see everyday life here. When I first came to Denmark, I thought people were being distant or even unfriendly, because no one made small talk on the bus or at the supermarket. But over time, I realized it wasn't rudeness at all, it was just a completely different way of communicating. And once I understood it, conversations actually felt more honest and meaningful. Here's the surprising part. Avoiding small talk doesn't make Danes less social. In fact, studies show they rank among the happiest people in the world. So, could it be that cutting out small talk is actually part of the secret to a happier life? Sustainability and green energy. Viking heritage. Welfare system. New Nordic food. Welcome to Denmark Explained, your front row seat to the hidden gems, quirky traditions, and powerful stories that make Danish culture truly unforgettable. When you first arrive in Denmark, you might notice something surprising. People don't often engage in casual small talk. You say hello, try to make conversation, and the other person gives a polite smile, but that's it. At first, it can feel cold or distant. But this silence isn't rudeness, it's part of the culture. Danes tend to value meaningful conversations over idle chatter. Studies show that a majority prefer discussions that have depth rather than superficial exchanges. So, when you meet someone here, don't be discouraged if the conversation doesn't immediately flow. They aren't uninterested, they're just waiting for a reason to talk that feels significant. This preference is closely tied to a cultural belief that humility and equality are important. People avoid drawing attention to themselves unnecessarily, and small talk can sometimes feel like self-promotion. In practice, this means that strangers rarely discuss personal achievements, opinions, or even casual experiences unless there's a clear purpose to the conversation. Another key factor is the directness of communication. Danes tend to value clarity and efficiency. They often skip the small talk that other cultures might consider essential. So if you're meeting someone for the first time, don't expect long pleasantries. Instead, they will often move straight to the topic at hand. And yes, that can feel abrupt if you're used to more chatty social norms, but it's actually a sign of respect for your time. Interestingly, silence is not uncomfortable here. Many Danes are perfectly comfortable with pauses in conversation, seeing them as opportunities to reflect rather than gaps that must be filled. This can be surprising for newcomers from countries where silence is seen as awkward or even rude. And here's something to note. You'll see that this approach extends into professional settings as well, where meetings are concise and focused, with minimal small talk. Now, you might be wondering how to respond in these moments. The trick is patience and observation. People appreciate authenticity, honesty, and a genuine interest in meaningful topics. Asking thoughtful questions about shared interests or experiences can spark engagement far more effectively than starting with a casual comment about the weather. Later in the video, we'll explore exactly which topics work best to connect with locals. So, the next time you feel that pause or quiet moment, don't panic. It's not a rejection, it's simply how conversations are built here. Understanding this from the start can save you a lot of frustration and help you navigate Danish social life with confidence. Silence isn't awkward in Denmark, it's golden. If you've ever been in a conversation with a Dane, you might have noticed long pauses that feel unusual compared to what you're used to. Surprisingly, silence here isn't awkward, it's actually valued. Many Danes are comfortable with quiet moments during interactions, seeing them as opportunities to think and reflect rather than gaps that need to be filled. This can feel strange at first, especially if you come from a culture where constant chatter is the norm. One reason for this is a strong appreciation for personal space. People here respect boundaries and avoid unnecessary interruptions. That's why conversations may feel slower, calmer, or even sparse when you first meet someone. It's not that Danes are unfriendly, they simply approach interactions with thoughtfulness. And later in this video, we'll talk about how you can use this to your advantage when connecting with locals. Another key factor is the preference for meaningful dialogue. Small talk is often seen as empty or superficial. Instead, people focus on discussions that matter, whether it's sharing experiences, discussing current events, or exploring personal interests. Studies show that a majority of locals are more comfortable diving into substantial topics rather than engaging in light chit-chat. So, if your first attempt at casual conversation feels like it's falling flat, It's not a personal rejection, it's just the cultural norm. Interestingly, this acceptance of silence extends into professional and social settings. Meetings, for instance, are often concise and structured, with minimal small talk at the beginning. Social gatherings may also involve quiet moments where people simply enjoy each other's company without needing to fill every second with words. And don't worry, you'll learn later which topics spark lively discussions and create genuine connections. It's also worth noting that authenticity and honesty go a long way here. People respond positively to genuine curiosity and sincere engagement. If you show interest in meaningful subjects rather than forcing casual chatter, you're more likely to earn respect and trust. And yes, it may take patience, but once you understand this rhythm, navigating social situations becomes much easier. So next time you're met with a pause, don't panic. Think of it as an invitation to listen, reflect, and prepare to contribute something thoughtful. By understanding the value of quiet and the emphasis on meaningful conversations, you can turn what seems like a challenge into an opportunity to connect on a deeper level. Do you prefer deep, meaningful conversations or light, casual chats? Option A: I value deep, meaningful conversations. Option B: I enjoy light, casual chats. Comment your answer in the comments below. Planning a trip to Denmark? Or maybe you're moving there soon? Don't just Google your way through it. Let DenmarkExplained.com be your shortcut to a smoother, smarter, and way more fun experience. At DenmarkExplained.com/products, you'll find itineraries, ready-made plans that turn confusion into unforgettable days. Ebooks, packed with local insights, cultural tips, and everyday know-how. No boring history lessons, just stuff that actually helps. Expat guides, moving to Denmark? Get the info you wish someone told you before you landed. Everything's digital, everything's simple, and everything's designed to make Denmark feel less confusing, and way more cozy. So skip the stress, and get the guides that explain Denmark, clearly, cleverly, and in plain English. Check it out now at DenmarkExplained.com/products. Your trip, our tips, let's make it amazing. If you found this insight into Danish culture helpful, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Drop a comment below sharing your experiences with Danish social interactions. We'd love to hear from you. Looking to connect with Danes? Skip the small talk and go straight to the heart. If you want to connect with people in Denmark, the key is to focus on meaningful conversations rather than small talk. At first, this may feel intimidating, especially if you're used to chatting casually about the weather or weekend plans. But once you understand the approach, you'll find that Danes are genuinely open to conversations that feel important and authentic. One interesting insight is that people here respond better to thoughtful questions and topics that matter. Studies show that most locals enjoy discussing experiences, current events, or personal reflections over superficial banter. So instead of asking, "How's the weather?" you might ask about someone's hobbies, a recent trip, or their perspective on a news event. Later in this video, we'll explore exactly which topics spark the most engagement. Another thing to remember is the value of patience. Relationships here often develop slowly. It's not uncommon for people to reserve close friendships for those they have known for years. This doesn't mean they are unfriendly, it just highlights how much they value trust and consistency. If you push too quickly for casual friendliness, it may not be well received. Authenticity is crucial. People appreciate sincerity and honesty, and they can quickly detect if someone is forcing conversation. Showing genuine curiosity about a topic or listening attentively goes a long way. And here's a subtle tip. Even a brief, thoughtful pause before responding can make your contributions feel more meaningful. It's a small adjustment, but it aligns perfectly with their conversational style. Interestingly, silence is not avoided, it's embraced. Pauses are common and considered a natural part of dialogue. Instead of filling every moment with words, people use these quiet intervals to reflect, process, and respond thoughtfully. And this isn't limited to social settings. It's also a characteristic of professional interactions, where clarity and efficiency are highly valued. So, if you want to build connections, Focus on the quality of your interactions rather than the quantity. Ask questions that show you're interested, listen actively, and don't rush the conversation. You might be surprised at how quickly these deeper conversations lead to genuine connections once the initial silence is respected and understood. By understanding these nuances, you can navigate social situations with confidence. What may feel unusual at first will soon become a natural rhythm, allowing you to communicate effectively and form meaningful relationships. And later in the video, we'll reveal specific strategies for starting these conversations with ease. Wondering how to fit in at a Danish dinner party? Here's what you need to know. When you attend social or professional gatherings in Denmark, you might notice something that feels unusual at first. People don't fill the space with endless chatter. Silence isn't seen as uncomfortable, and small talk is minimal. Instead, conversations are structured, purposeful, and meaningful. Understanding this pattern can make a huge difference in how you connect with people here. In many settings, whether it's a meeting or a casual dinner, Danes value clear and direct communication. They tend to get straight to the point without unnecessary pleasantries. At first, this can feel abrupt if you're used to long introductions or light chatter, but it's actually a sign of respect. People are respecting your time and expecting the same in return. And later in this video, we'll give tips on how to respond naturally in these moments. Another aspect to notice is the strong appreciation for personal space. Physical distance, combined with conversational pauses, creates an environment where reflection and thoughtfulness are encouraged. You'll find that even during social events, people often enjoy moments of quiet without feeling awkward. It's a subtle but powerful difference from many cultures where silence is quickly filled with words. Trust and authenticity are central to Danish interactions. People respond positively when they sense sincerity. Asking meaningful questions or sharing your own honest experiences tends to generate a stronger connection than attempting casual small talk. This can feel a bit intimidating at first. How do you know which topics are appropriate? Later, we'll break down the most effective conversation starters that are welcomed by locals. Interestingly, even in professional settings, the emphasis on structure and purpose remains. Meetings are concise and goal-oriented, and feedback is collaborative rather than personal. People focus on the topic, not on superficial chatter, which can make discussions highly efficient. If you're new to this style, it may take some adjustment, but once you understand it, you'll appreciate how much smoother communication can be. Finally, social norms extend to simple gestures like expressing gratitude or maintaining casual attire in many settings. These small details reinforce the overall cultural values of equality, respect, and comfort. Observing these cues helps you integrate seamlessly, whether at work, in a community event, or while making new friends. By embracing these conversational norms, you'll find it easier to navigate social interactions, build meaningful connections, and even enjoy moments of quiet that others might find awkward. It's a different rhythm, but once you adapt, it becomes second nature and opens doors to deeper relationships. Thanks for watching. For more insights into Danish culture and lifestyle, check out the playlist on your right. See you in the next video.